Welcome everyone to a new Let's Play series on Rule the Waves. This gameplay series we're going to be playing as Germany. So I like Germany's technology leader. That should give us a bit of a research boost. And we also get an advantage in armor development, subdivision and damage control, and AP projectiles. Now I don't particularly focus on subdivision and damage control to begin with because, in my opinion, it's better just to do whatever you can to prevent damage. This requires you to be hit and take damage, which I would prefer to, I would definitely prefer to avoid in the first place. However, even if your armor is pretty advanced, it's inevitable that you'll take hits, so we'll take it. I mean, it's not a disadvantage, so it's an advantage. The bonus tech, cross-tech fire, I've experimented a little more with it. It's actually really good. It's allows you to have essentially 4 centerline turrets effectively while you don't have that technology yet, which is great because we do want to have 4 main battle turrets as fast as possible. Now, one of the limitations with Germany is they only start with 11-inch guns and a 14,000 dock size. If we go to anybody else like France or Great Britain, these guys are going to have 16,000 and they're going to have 12-inch guns. Even Great Britain has 13-inch and France does too. The United States even has the 14,000, but they at least have the 12-inch, so they just have to build slightly lighter battleships. But we're going to take advantage of a trick where we just build a lot of our ships from Great Britain to start with. Okay, so what I'm going to do is replace this test game I did. Tortuga is our name. We're going to use historical resources, which is going to make this game a little more challenging, but hey, that's fun. And we'll do a manual build of our legacy fleet so that I can employ my little trick. Large is probably the fleet size I recommend. Very large gets to be, it's true, very large. We don't want that because the fights are just super tedious. They're like hour-long slogs. Even if you do a lot of AI control, it just gets to be very chaotic battles. So let's go ahead and hit OK. We'll erase slot 3, and we're jumping into the game. So first things first, we got to build our initial fleet. But before we even get started, let me make sure the game window meets my recording software. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's start designing ships. First things first, I'm going to get a battleship. We'll auto-design. We'll replace a lot of this, but what we're going to do is go up to 16,000 because we're going to build this in Great Britain, which means we're going to use size 12 guns. Okay, we're going to have a rangefinder, get this up to at least around 120. Get rid of our tertiary guns. We probably are going to want 7 or 8. 8 or 9 secondary guns. Depends on what we end up feeling out as the right number. I want this to be 19, so that's already a strike against possibly getting 9 guns per side. 9 guns per side would be nice, though. That's fine. 10, 3.5, 2, 1. This should be higher. And turrets should be probably 11. Let's get 2.5 for turret top. Secondaries, this is a bit low. We'll go to 4.5 at least. Probably 5 is better. And that all works. In fact, we might be looking at our... Oh, I did not see that. That guy snuck by, so we'll go back to 4.5. And we're still a little bit low. Where do we make some cuts? Who's gonna get it? Oh, yes. How about this? Let's clear all the torpedo mounts. I don't think our original battleships, they're gonna have such low torpedo technology for so long. I find it's better not to use torpedo tubes at all. The reason being is, for the first 10 years, these battleships are going to be better off finishing off a ship by using their main guns instead of torpedoes anyway. We don't want to get too close to other ships because then they might torpedo us, so it's better to use the 12-inch guns at range. Now that does give us a little bit of wiggle room back. I think I'm going to try to invest in better conning tower. Let's get that like this. And 135, okay, too much, so 130, fine. Everything checks out, and we've designed ourselves a battleship that is going to be built in Great Britain. However, this is the beginning of the game. These are our legacy fleets, so technically, it doesn't matter. We can build them here, and they're instantly built, so we don't have to worry about Great Britain confiscating or any of our battleships or canceling them, impounding them, whatever. Whatever they do when you have poor relationships and you're building your ships in their dockyards. So that covers our first battleship. Now I built 2 because I know I'm going to need at least 2, but let's go work down the line before we figure out exactly how many we can build. Let's auto-design cruiser, and I don't like this at all. Why is that? Because I've come to prefer a style of cruiser which is actually more about killing light cruisers than it is about actually killing other heavy cruisers. So what I've kind of defaulted to lately is this really weak setup. I do still want deck of 2 because I think it's worth it. We'll see if we actually can get it. Maybe 1.5 is all we can really do. Turrets of 4.5, let's say. Turret top of... Well, let's leave turret top of 2, that's fine. And secondaries, no. Down to 3. Great, so what I want to do is take this down as low as I can. I would prefer to get it down to 10,000. Let's first drop this. We get... Now, technically there's a huge drop off between 10 and 9. So 48 and 4 at 10,500. 48 and... Whoops. That's not a huge drop off. Oh, the range? What I'm looking at, the thing that's most peculiar to me is when you get to 8-inch guns, your range increases from 9 inches. Yeah, but 48 and 4 did not drop very much at all. So we'll go back to the 9-inch guns. We just want the lightest guns. We can't do 8-inch guns because less than 9-inch in turrets without reliable, you get this penalty. So it's not good, not very advisable. We'll do the 9-inch ones. However, I think we're going to have to lower the speed. We might even need to lower the speed to 21 to get this design to work. Maybe we can clear torpedo mounts. Let's try to get up to 22 again. We're only 56 away. We can clear these torpedo mounts, and there we go. Now, that's pretty low rounds per gun. But the good news is this is basically a 6-inch gun torpedo boat. So we can get 7-inch broadsides off. I mean, 7 6-inch broadsides off. So 14 divided by 2 per side. And even if this main gun runs out of ammo, that's mainly just to ward off other heavy cruisers. 6-inch hits are going to be enough to destroy other light cruisers, and our heavier armor is going to be enough to withstand any light cruiser attacks. So I've basically converted my mentality from the previous tutorial gameplay series, where my heavy cruisers were better than other heavy cruisers, to a new operating parameter where the heavy cruisers are mainly just focused on killing light cruisers, and then if they're up against another heavy cruiser, just running away. That does mean that a lot of the times my heavy cruiser will be sunk by other heavy cruisers because their speed is still pretty low. But I'm okay with that. I don't like heavy cruisers. They don't fit well into the game, I find. So they haven't really found their sweet spot, in my opinion. The biggest reason for this is their maintenance is just so freaking high, which I don't entirely understand. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Medium, normal, not cramped, good. Normal, that's fine. 4, 2, 1.51. Yeah, I would probably prefer this deck as 2, but we'll just have to get by with 1.5. 5 is pretty darn low, unfortunately. We'd like to get this up. How much would it cost? 10. What if we went to secondaries 2.5? Okay, I think that's actually going to be worth it. They may knock out some secondaries, but we won't get like a critical hit. We can probably take the turrets up to 5. Yeah, this is good. I think that this is worth it because now we won't have an instant death. Secondaries don't blow up. I've never seen a flash fire from a secondary turret, so that's fine. These guys are casemate anyways, so they're not really as important. They already have like kind of a built-in armor bonus for being casemate, I think. So this is good. I think I'm okay with this. How much would deck? Yeah, that's 400. We're not going to consider that. Okay, so we'll leave it like this. We have a little bit of weight left over. Let's pump that back into our, our main guns. 125 is what we'll get. And that's our heavy cruiser. So we'll build one just to make sure we have at least one built so that there's no penalty for building something for the first time when we enter the game. Next is our light cruisers. I think it's good to remind ourselves that the light cruisers we build right now are going to have this protected cruiser armor scheme, which is plain and simple just worse. It's just not as good. What is that going to mean? I think it means that we try to find a slightly less what's the word I'm looking for? Expensive. I guess just a less expensive, a lighter light cruiser until we can get the technology where they can build normal armor schemes. And then we can put these around 6,000, which I'm usually comfortable with. So I'm going to do 2.5 for belt. I still want belt extended for 1. No. These guys don't build deck extended. They don't build any extended for protected cruiser stuff. Deck we'll put down to 1. Conning tower probably around 4 or 5. Turret 2.5. Turret top 1. And I think that's good. So we'll not use any secondary guns beyond that. And we're doing okay. This is actually too good. How are we doing so good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a 5 6-inch broadside. That's what I want. Oh, we want long range. Yep, that's gonna hurt. Oh, perfect. Actually, we're right in the sweet spot, so we can get maybe 2 more. Okay, 140 rounds per gun. I like this. This is perfect. So a speed of 23, not very fast, but remember, if you played the older versions, the heavier ships now are a little bit slower, or it's harder. It costs more machinery weight to get a desired horsepower. Good. So all okay. We'll save and we'll build this guy. Hopefully I'm not missing anything there. I didn't double check as many times as I normally would. Maintenance cost of 116. It's a bit high, but well, the light cruisers are kind of the mainstay of our fleet. Okay, so we have 2 more ships to build. First, a destroyer. The destroyers are just gonna suck. I don't think that there's a very good role for destroyers in the beginning. In fact, I really like this. What the heck have they done here? Ah, they have accommodations cramped. Well, we don't want that because it can cause unrest. Let's take this off. Also, I think we have to remove one of these anyways because we're at the 20% heavy crowding, which is going to reduce rate of fire. So what if we remove... It looks like let's remove Q. And let's remove both of these. Actually, let's just clear mounts. What I'm going to do is add F, G, and V. So we update and we have these now. That's fine. I think that that's fine. And we are now below. Can we get to 28? It'll cost a lot. What will we do? We're already on speed. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get to 28. So we'll just increase this and we'll have some pretty cheap. Really what I think we could do is raise to 4-inch guns. No, we can't do that. Okay, 3-inch. We have better 3-inch guns anyways right now, so that's fine. And then we'll just wait until the next arm roll. Jump happens at 250, so we'll do 240. That's fine. Okay, so the V1. It's going to be a pretty low maintenance ship. Pretty cheap. But destroyers in the beginning of the game just suck. There's no good reason to use them. This is still the era of naval combat where the light cruisers were the scouting party. They didn't even use destroyers. These were... I don't even know what these are. They would be probably something more like the coastal patrol, like the Coast Guard. Compared to a real military using destroyers. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and build one of those. Get the V1. And now, all we're missing is a minesweeper. Auto design. It's going to give us way too big of a displacement. Let's get this up to 17, because it's free to go from 16 to 17 for reasons don't entirely understand, but I'm not going to argue. We'll get belt. We'll skip the deck. We'll get conning tower of 7 because for some reason we can get to 7 for free. And the next jump, excuse me, my goodness. I feel another one coming on too. But so you can get from 2.5 to 7 for free. So might as well do that. Otherwise you just leave this conning tower. Another thing you could do is just leave this at 2, which is probably more than it needs because it's only going to be going up against destroyers. Anything besides a destroyer, it's just going to lose to. And there might even be something to said about doing that because 2-inch armor against a destroyer is pretty good. Pretty good. So I know you can get away without doing this. Let's lower this. So we can actually take it up. You can see that it's only going to be 6. We could definitely, since we can do it, let's just do it. And we can spend all the rest of our space on ammo. 215, we'll take it down to, we'll take it to 215. Good, so everything's good on this one. Has enough armor to actually defeat destroyers. And that's what I like about it. Now you cannot add torpedoes to minesweepers, otherwise we would, and this would be, you know, a more effective ship than even our destroyers. That's okay. So everything's okay with that. We'll hit save, and that will be our minesweeper. Fantastic. With the remaining budget, what we need to do is decide how many ships we're going to build. One thing to remember is ships are half off after this phase. So in the building ships that are going to start under construction, the cost of those is like essentially half off because half of their build, like if it takes 20 months to build something, you only have to build 10 months of it at the same monthly budget. So let's see what we're going to do about that. I think what we'll do, always you want to try to get to 18 million, which is going to be remaining funds over 18 million are lost, but you want to take as many of those 18 million in to the next phase. Now, if I think we can build one more of those. Now we're at 37, so we need to start thinking we need to get some light cruisers. We need at least one of those. Let's not use the Gila, because that's a ship I usually... Gazelle, it's another light. Let's use this. So we're at 16.4. Let's go ahead and build a minesweeper, which is going to take us just below 16. Oh, wait, we're at 16. We need to be below 18, so we're already good. Good, so we'll stop here. Now we can select ships under construction. Now they're only going to cost half the amount, so this is important. We have to really maximize this, even if it means our monthly balance is negative. So I think we need to start by building quite a few. It's going to give us the Gila no matter what, so it doesn't matter. Let's just build 3 of them, and we're sure the Gazelle and the Gila will be used. Okay, this is going to cost 4 out of our 16. And it says it'll be a monthly balance of a monthly build cost of only 291. That's not true. I think that's divided among the full light cruiser build time, whereas we're not using the full light cruiser build time, so this will be much higher. Because it pretends it's 300, but let's see what the monthly balance changes by for 6. Yeah, almost $1 million per. So it's much more expensive than what it says. Okay. Now that still means we have plenty of funds left. We're not going to worry about monthly balance. What we're going to do is probably just put a lot of ships on hold until we build some of the other ships in order to get as much bang for our buck. Basically, if we can build them for half price and then just put them on hold until we have the funds to continue building them, that's better than just not building them at all. Because 50% off is enormous. So what else do we need? I don't really care about destroyers. I think we should try to build at least one more of these. Oh, whoops. Battleships. Let's get one more battleship. That'll be one more that Great Britain controls, which is not ideal, but whatever. Maybe even one more on top of that. It's only 12 months to build. Okay, yeah, I think so. Okay, so that's all we can build. We're at a huge monthly deficit. We want a lot of minesweepers next. So we have 1 to start. We're going to get 12, and then on top of that, we're going to get, so we're at 13 total. I guess we'll get to 7 for a total of 20. Funds are still looking good. We can build another light cruiser, I think. Maybe even 2 more. And our funds are starting to get down there, huh? Let's actually just call it quits here. But before we actually do that, let's move our light cruiser over to Northeast Asia, because we have these foreign tonnages we have to satisfy. It's saying that the people want at least, we need 100 more in Northeast Asia. Well, that's easy. We'll just send a minesweeper there. So apparently they needed 5,600 because my light cruiser was 5,500. Southeast Asia needs 3,200, 2,400. So we need, let's see, a total of, wow, exactly 8,000 more. Which means that once we're set on Northeast Asia, we can just set my heavy cruiser patrolling around, and it will satisfy the remainder of the tonnage requirements. Which is something I didn't showcase in the tutorial series, but something I've figured out you can do. This saves you a little bit of maintenance costs, because remember, look at the difference between our 2 light cruisers here. This one's in Northern Europe, so it doesn't pay high maintenance, but this one is not in our home territory, so it pays higher maintenance at 139 versus 116. I think it's, what is it? Is it like a 15% increase? I can't tell, unfortunately. It might even be a 20% increase. Yeah, I guess it's a 20% increase. Wow, that's pretty significant. So you don't want to have too many ships out from your home area. Okay, so I think that is all we need to do is put this one here and then send this heavy cruiser to foreign station. And that takes care of the rest of the tonnage. I felt that one coming. I felt it coming. And now we are actually ready to begin the game. So, continue. We're done. Before we start advancing turns, let's go ahead and get our research set up. Research, machinery's medium is fine. Armor, we do have an advantage in it, so you can see with the parentheses. Hull will go to high, fire control high, subdivision, we'll leave this on medium. I put it on low before, but because we have the advantage in it, I might as well try to get a little bit more out of that. Again, hopefully our ships just don't get hit. These are going to be high. AP projectiles, I'm going to put on medium. We get an advantage of it too. Light forces and torpedo warfare, I'm going to put this on high until we get slightly better destroyers. After 900 tons, I don't really need destroyers bigger than that. Those can hold enough torpedo racks for me. We will definitely leave torpedo technology on high. Submarines on low, as always. Same with ASW, and even explosive shells, low. Medium and naval guns high. There we go. We'll hit OK. And I'm not going to choose to increase our training for the time being, because I don't think we'll be going to war in the first year or so, and until we're gearing up for war, it's better just to kind of save our money. Last thing we're going to do is actually get some intel. That all looks good. And before we hit end turn, we have a huge deficit, so we're going to have to put a lot of ships on pause. Probably all but these two, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, good. Well, we've done our initial turn setup. We might as well just advance one turn just to say we did more than just set up this game on this video. Boom, there we are. We've made it to February 1900. So that concludes our game setup, and I'm going to call this video to a close here. Thanks for watching. I hope you're excited about the new series. And because this is the first video on my playlist, if you wouldn't mind giving this one a like, just to increase the odds of other people seeing it on YouTube, I'd really appreciate that. Normally not something I ask for, but if not, that's fine too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in episode 2.